All right, welcome to the Beef and Chetter Show.
How's it going?
I don't know how it's going. Yeah. Hopefully everything's working.
He's Beef. I'm Chetter, in case you don't know.
I am Beef. That's true. Still working on some of the stuff, so hopefully this doesn't sound too terrible. What's up this week, man?
Well, in my life, not a whole heck of a lot. Although I did book tickets for The Last Jedi finally, so I'm kind of jacked about that.
Yeah, I'm definitely jacked. Next week away. So what's today, the 8th or the 9th?
Today's the 8th. We're exactly a week away. So actually, literally in 4 minutes from now, in a week, we're going to be sitting in the theater.
Bring your mic just a little bit closer to you, and if you want, you can take off your pop filter.
Okay, I'll remove that.
All right.
But yeah, so in a week from now, basically, we're going to be sitting in the theater.
All right. I'm happy with audio levels, so headphones get to come off. All right.
So do we want to try again, or
nope?
Is this all live?
We're live. I just wanted to make sure we're good with all of our audio levels while I'm
do it live.
Farting around with this stuff. So anyway,
because we're professionals.
Yeah, it's weird. I get the echo thing, so I don't want to use that. It's real time stuff. But anyway,
no. But yeah, no, I'm pretty jacked about that. I'm not sure. I know we've talked Star Wars theories off podcast airness, and
it's true.
It's very true. You've got one that's pretty entertaining.
Yeah, we've already discussed it though. So what's your ideas on this stuff?
So here, hold on. I'm gonna turn this because I'm kind of sitting in my chair at an angle now.
Okay.
Well, I guess if you want to elaborate on your theory, because if you elaborate on your theory, I will change a certain main.
Oh, you're gonna
character
change things
on your theory.
So I guess we got to go back and start from the beginning. So unified theory of Star Wars, I guess basically it comes down to who are Rey's parents, and who's Snoke, and who's the new bad guy.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I guess we'll start with Snoke because that's the only one I kind of think I got figured out. And this goes back to the Revan thing, which I still haven't finished the book. I'm getting closer. I got Wikipedia pulled up, so if we need to look up names, we can do so. But
okay, Tyson.
I guess essentially is if you've looked into any of the Revan stuff, Tyson, lay down, please. Thank you.
He's just a spaz.
He is a spaz. He likes to fight. Anyway, the kind of main villain at that time is Valkyrion, I believe is how you say his name. Valkyrion, I'm not really sure. Yeah. Or the Emperor.
Yeah, the Emperor.
Old Republic Emperor, the original OG.
Not Palpatine.
Yeah, OG Emperor.
Well, is he the actual OG Emperor, or was there? Because there might have been emperors before.
He had a big empire.
Yeah, so. he had like probably the most major empire.
So, that's who I think Snoke is, and if you don't have too much history on him, he essentially got his powers when he was really young. He was already a super force sensitive. Now, the video game, I think, gets something wrong if the books are more canon than the video game.
Yeah, see, it all depends on how you go, like, because technically they're both legends. So if they're both legends, they both could be different versions of the legend. But yeah, if you go off the book, I've never played the video game, so I'm going off the book 100%.
So the thing that makes me wonder about this, and I got to ask you because you have watched all of them and I haven't, but you did the Clone Wars TV series, and that is canon. What were the super force sensitives in that? They had a name. And I can look them up.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember now.
And that's why I got Wikipedia here. But anyway, and maybe I can even let you do that while I talk.
Yeah, here, I'll Wikipedia it here.
So the thing that I noticed about them that they mentioned in the book about the original Emperor is they have black eyes. And they have black eyes. And I think it's because they're the super force sensitives. And I wonder if he's not one of them, and that's what gives him the ability to be so powerful in the first place. But as a kid, he was a super powerful Sith and basically was a Sith Lord almost immediately. And when he gained his title, if I remember right, he brought all the Sith Lords to his planet, and they did a ritual to basically suck every last piece of life off of the planet, or I should say the Force or the life force and force it into his body, essentially making him immortal. And that's where all of his power comes from. And then you find out in the books later that he was planning to do that in the entire galaxy to, you know, make himself the ultimate force, I guess. I don't really know. But so I'm thinking, and then his son ends up with the Outlander killing him at the end of the games, the Old Republic games. I think that he is what they're using as inspiration for Snoke. Did you come up with the name of those things?
Yeah, okay, so they just call him Mortis, but that's like kind of that's also where they're from. Mortal, yeah. And it was the father, the son, and the daughter.
Yeah.
And I remembered I was trying to remember if they had a name. I remembered it was the father of the Force in theory, but yeah. Mm-hmm. So Mortis is where they're from, and that's kind of what they and
I got to come back to them a little later because I got a problem with them, and where they're going with the Grey Jedis. But we'll come back to that at the end.
Okay.
And that'll actually seriously affect my theory on how the movie's going to end. But so yeah, I think that's where they're coming up with the Snoke thing. Is he is the embodiment or the force power that guy was, and he has to feed on the souls to get his power back. And I'm sure that's what Snoke's doing, because that's what makes it sound like. Because looks like he's gotten better in some of the pictures I saw of Snoke in the new movie.
He does, although that could, and this is just one of those things that could be like just kind of where they're going with his character, since you're no longer seeing him as just a hologram.
Yeah, that's true.
Entirely possible.
But I thought we did kind of see him in. I don't know. I got a picture of him pulled up here. We'll go to my internet view.
Yeah, I mean, to me though, even like that in that view, he actually looks about the same. If not, this is where it's like you get the more pale complexion. Seeing that to where I almost think he looks worse.
Yeah,
but that's just because of the complexion. So I mean, that's
I guess the other thing that makes me think this is he's moving around. He's really slow and lurches around, and kind of in episode 7, in one of the trailers you kind of see him attack Rey.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm thinking maybe.
I gotta make sure that this didn't take off. I'm trying to look at something else here really quick.
I was hoping for a decent image of him, but not getting it. That's all right. Anyway.
So, I'm just trying to check one thing here. And
you thought maybe it could have been Scourge.
Yeah, Lord Scourge, which is in the book, Revan. So in that book, Lord Scourge also was made immortal the same way the Emperor was made at the very end of the book. Mm-hmm. So there's a possibility it could be him. That was just one of the arguments I had. But actually, to tell you the truth, since we've discussed it on Wednesday, and because I'm going back through I do all my books, Star Wars books, on audiobooks.
Yeah, apparently that was the guy that killed him in the video game.
Okay.
It's the Outlander.
So I decided to go back and listen to the Darth Bane books again, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm about the second book, going through the second book, and it's been probably a good 6 months since I've gone through the books, and then all of a sudden today I realized, as like driving along, and I listened to the book, and I realized something that could put a twist on your theory. So Darth Bane, at the end of the third book, they kind of leave it up to, and I'm trying to remember exactly because it's been like 6 months since I've heard it, but he does or attempts to transfer his essence into his apprentice, Darth Zana.
Yep.
And they leave the book where you really don't know, like you kind of get the impression that yeah, he did do it, but you're not 100% sure. And
yeah, I guess on that could kind of be that.
I mean, all of a sudden you could go into the fact of, okay, maybe Darth Bane has been transferring his essence, and he has taken over, whoever Snoke's.
Yeah, then he could kind of the Plagueis thing.
Yeah.
Where he learned how to transfer his essence, and he could have been Plagueis or whatever.
Yeah.
Or it could have been this guy, and I forget his name.
And I can't remember his name either.
But he's just essentially spirit energy bound to that mask in his cloak. He's not even a physical essence, if I remember right. Yeah, and that could be too. So I think, I'm sure that's what they're doing. When they say they saw the rise and fall of an empire with Snoke, I don't think it was the Empire from the original trilogy, right? I'm pretty sure it's Old Republic Rise of the Empire.
Which I would love if they did do that. Because to me, they're not going back and trying to do a movie about the Old Republic. It would be a continuation of where we're at. But they're like stepping back saying, you know what, we're acknowledging that the Old Republic is somewhat canon. It would be perfect if they did that, I think.
I think that's actually what they're doing.
Which would be awesome. Because I would love that.
I think they're going Old Republic. Because they announced that they're going to do a new trilogy.
Yeah, they're those saying the director's already said that he's not doing Old Republic. The director said that he is not doing Old Republic
as it stands, but
he said he likes the idea. He loves the Old Republic, but he wants to do a new trilogy. Rian Johnson is the director, and yeah, he was saying he wants to do a new story or tell new stories. And he loves the Old Republic, but he wants to tell new stories. So I don't know if they're doing an Old Republic.
I think they're going old school, though. I think they're going backwards. I don't think it's going to be after. I'm sure it's going to be prequel,
which would be all right. I don't have a problem with that. I mean that would be entertaining. I hate to get too carried away with planning what the next trilogy is before we're even finished with this trilogy, but. That would be all right if they went before the prequels. But it all depends on how they end this set of prequels. Because they could end this set of prequels in a whole, like, new set that could completely...
So, I think...
They could have the galaxy in all sorts of crazy turmoil that could be really entertaining.
So, if we continue on my theory of how Snoke comes to be, I think this is where Season 4 of Rebels is going. Mm-hmm. I think Ezra or Kanan's going to accidentally stumble upon this. They're looking for something to help them, because they lost their holocrons.
Yep.
So, and they lost the battle bad, right? I mean, their entire base was destroyed. I'm sure a lot of people got killed. So, I don't know if Kanan's going to be the one struggling to figure something out. Or if it's going to be Ezra that desperately wants to get something figured out, because he kind of tried that already and it didn't work in Season 3. Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe they stumble upon Snoke and either he kills them and that's where he gets his initial essence from or something to that nature, or they do something hoping it was a Jedi thing and it was a trick.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's possible. It's possible.
So...
Although I still like my theory about Ezra being Rey's dad.
And it could be. And
could all tie together still. I'm not saying that it couldn't, but...
The thing is I don't know that they can be. Because Rey is only 17, is that right?
I don't know. How old?
I think Rey's only 17.
Here, let's type in.
And
this is what I love about Google.
I think episode 7 was 32 years after the Battle of Yavin, wasn't it? 32 BBY?
Yeah, something like that.
So, I don't think Ezra makes it past the Battle of Yavin, does he? I can't imagine that he would.
Rey is 19.
So, yeah.
In The Force Awakens.
So, that puts her being conceived
30 years.
Quite a bit after the end of the Empire, and I don't think Ezra makes it that far.
We don't know. He might. He could have lived in solitude, and maybe Ezra is Snoke.
And it's possible. Well, see, you said live to see the rise. See, I think it's old I don't know that the current Empire is the one they're talking about. And I don't think it is, so I can't put that in my theory.
Okay, so maybe Ezra was... Okay, maybe they run into Snoke like you're saying, and then whoever Snoke doesn't look like Snoke, and he takes over Ezra's body.
Yeah, that's possible.
After he kills Ezra, and that's why he's got the screwed up face thing.
It's possible.
Yeah, see, that's a good theory.
But
we could talk Star Wars theories all day. And then when the movie comes out, we're gonna look like complete.
Yeah, we're gonna look like total assholes on Friday night. Tyson, lay down, please.
If we, the other thing is, this is what I feel like is going to happen. Everybody's got these theories about who Snoke is, whose race parents are. I would love it on one hand, but it would also kill me if we went into the movie and we don't find out those answers at all. And they wait until the last movie to reveal any of that stuff.
Yeah, it'd piss me off. So, I don't have Rey's parents figured out. I don't even have a good theory on Rey's parents.
The only one I have is Ezra. But the other thing is technically, that their parents don't have to be force sensitive to have a force sensitive child.
Well, the question
doesn't even have to have the strong in the force.
Is she a Skywalker or is she not? Is she actually the main part of the series or is she not?
We'll find out.
So, I did a little research on the side, and I have a few avenues to go down.
Okay.
Padme had a sister, and I don't know, that doesn't necessarily make them a Skywalker. So I don't know that Padme, I mean, she could have had, or, Luke could have had cousins or whatever. I don't know. I don't know if that necessarily counts.
He did have, no, he didn't have, he had an aunt and uncle, but he didn't have cousins, so.
And that's the other thing I came across but no, see, that wouldn't have worked either. Because Rey's too young.
Mm-hmm. For Lars and...
Yeah.
Or Owen and...
Owen and... Is it Beru?
Yeah.
Beru,
yeah.
Yeah, they actually didn't get killed. It was all a thing by Obi-Wan to get him to leave, because then he wouldn't have any attachments.
Yeah, could be it.
Because that's the whole thing about the Jedi, is if they have attachments, they can go to the dark side. So he basically talked, Uncle Ben into faking their deaths. So
Uncle Ben talked Owen.
Oh yeah, Owen.
Uncle Owen.
Owen talked Owen into faking his death. So
yeah.
But yeah, that does. So it couldn't have been them, because she's
they would have been in like their really 90s, old. And that's
and see, that was the other thing. If Rey would have been older, then it would have been, well, Beru found out she was pregnant and they ditched town before things could happen, type thing. Yeah. So unless she's Luke's kid,
I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. And does this movie necessarily does this trilogy necessarily have to be Skywalker?
So Disney said that the numbered titles are about the Skywalker lineage.
But I guess, so we've already got the Skywalker lineage with Kylo.
Yep.
So we've got that. But does that mean that they have to be centered around a Skywalker descendant?
I think,
or do they just have to have a descendant in there?
I think, and I know that Kylo's the main character, but he's least whiny. He wasn't in the last movie the main character.
Yeah.
And the Skywalker's always been the main character in all the other movies.
Yeah. Kind of.
Anakin was the main. I mean, they found him.
Yeah.
You had to develop the character in the first one. And maybe that's what you're doing with Kylo, too. Maybe he's much more central.
Yeah, because you think about Phantom Menace. I mean, I'm not saying Anakin didn't have a central part. But at the same time, he was about as much of a central character as Kylo is in this movie, or in The Force Awakens, because you pretty much watch Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn run around and try to save Liam Neeson's daughters. Oh, wait, that's taken.
Maybe she's not a main character. I don't know.
Who knows? We'll find out. One more week.
Hurts my brain.
One more week.
I think she's fallen to the dark side. I really think she is.
I've been trying my best to avoid the internet on this stuff, and I still catch glimpses here and there. And I haven't watched it, but supposedly there's a TV spot out there on basically Rey, the dark side Rey, or something that way. I haven't watched it.
Well, she already did fall to the dark side once.
Yeah.
Because there was no way she was going to even come close to holding a candle to fighting with Kylo unless she tapped into the dark side. Because it takes too long to master the light side. That's the whole draw of the dark side, is immediate power. Easy. Yeah.
Instant gratification.
Yeah, that we'll come back around to that, because I think that's where we're getting the Grey Jedi thing wrong. I don't know if I know how to explain it well enough, but I don't think the Bendu is really what we need to be talking about.
You mean as far as the Grey Jedi type thing, or
there's not a third side?
No, there isn't a third side.
There isn't the light side and the dark side, and then someone who walks the middle. There isn't someone who walks the middle.
I feel like there's somebody who can walk on both sides, but
see, I think the Clone Wars got it wrong, and I think Rebels is getting it wrong, and I hope they're not going this way because it kind of ruins it. It's midichlorian bad.
Hey.
Tyson, would you calm down, please? Lay down. You're tearing your poor rope apart. How do I explain this without...
Okay, I want to hear your explanation, or your attempt at an explanation.
See, what is the Grey Jedi's role?
To just be a badass.
Exactly, but there isn't any Grey Jedi badasses, right? So
no, the only one that I think that Ahsoka is considered a Grey Jedi.
I don't think she is.
Everything I've seen considers.
I would not call her a Grey Jedi. I would just call her an outcast Jedi. The Grey Jedi have a. They actually They actually use the dark side. All right, Tyson, you need to lay down. Lay down. Stop it. Lay down. No.
He's watching your hand. I'm gonna get it.
You know, that was the whole point of the Grey Jedi is
they can
use your power to do moral things. But none of them have ever done that. None of them make that distinction because I don't think the light side is actually the good side of the Force. I think the light side stands for enlightenment.
Yeah.
So the dark side is just giving in to your temptations for greed and power and lust and, you know...
It's your passions.
Your passions, exactly. But the Jedi, they're about selflessness and that's the whole point.
No emotions.
Well, kind of no emotions, but because that's so hard to do in human nature, that's why it takes them so long to get powerful, is you have to learn to control that stuff. But the problem is once you give up those emotions, you no longer have the need to help people.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing where the Grey Jedi needs to... They're the ones that have the ability to use... Tyson, lay down. No. They need to be the ones to get in and do the things, but nobody has... Once you tap into the dark side of the Force, it's all about yourself.
Yeah.
So the Jedi need to just help people. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know that there is no in-the-middle Force power, right? You know.
Well, and I don't think that there's anybody that can be completely 100% one way or the other. Even listening to, for example, like you look at a lot of the stuff, you know, the Jedi are about helping others or selflessness and wisdom. That's the other big thing is knowledge. You know, like this whole knowledge is power type. They don't necessarily use it as...
But they're all about their own knowledge. They don't share it.
Mm-hmm, exactly. Which is very... If you read like a lot of the books on the Sith, they're on the dark side, they're a lot about knowledge as well and keeping it all to themselves. So there's lots of stuff that I feel like between the two of them cross over so much that I think the Grey Jedi is supposed to be like that idea of in between, maybe more sharing between themselves, but also at the same time completely embracing the ideas of, hey, I can use the Force for my own personal gain.
So in the Clone Wars thing, you watch the thing with the... crap, what were their names? The M-word? Mortises, right?
Yeah.
If you can control my children, you're the one that's going to bring balance to the Force because he controlled the dark and the light side.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's a balance between the dark and the light side. I think the whole point is to not have a dark side, and that is the balance. You become zen with the Force, and you don't need the dark side to be as powerful. And you can use your... And that's the thing that Bendu finally, I think, figured out. Is he realized that there was a wrong happening, and he used his powers in the light side to help people, but he wouldn't have done that before. He was the one in the middle. And I don't know if that's what they're going for or if they're doing the other thing in the Clone Wars. I hope that's what they were going for. That Kanan finally talks some sense into the one who doesn't get involved with anything. He won't stray into the dark side, or doesn't use the power of the light side, or his enlightenment, because I don't want to say the power of the light side. Mm-hmm. Just total Zen mastery with the Force. And I guess that's the other thing. The Force isn't really the Force in canon anymore, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to...
Because it's the midichlorians, so I don't know if that's been retconned or not yet.
It all depends on which books you read and stuff. Because, I mean, some books, they do include that in, like, on the Old Republic side in a few... Not necessarily in the Old Republic books, but getting kind of closer between the movies and the Old Republic. They do have it in a few of them, like...
The only thing that I've heard that retconned that a little bit that I liked is midichlorians are actually symbiotic, and they feed on the Force. And they're not necessarily what gives you the Force power, but they sense you've got a lot of it, so they come and feed off of your Force power. So it's an indication that you're powerful in the Force, not necessarily giving you the power.
Which would be good if they do that.
Which would be so much better for me, because I like the Force just being the mystical power of the universe, right? That everything taps into. But
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I hope they don't just make the third side, the gray Jedi, the one that's in between.
I see, to me, and I know he isn't, but at the same time, I like the idea of him being, is Revan as the idea of this gray Jedi, right? So Revan was a Jedi, then he turned to the dark side, or was forced to turn to the dark side. Mm-hmm. Then he came back to being a Jedi, and in the books, he does finally tap into using the dark side as well as the light side, all for the good of people. Like, he does it to save his family, he does it to save the Republic, he does it for future generations, to where that's my idea of what they should do with the gray Jedi, is not being somebody who's sitting in the middle, but somebody maybe who has either history or wants to learn the dark side, but then is like, you know what, I want to be a Jedi, but I will use the dark side of the Force to further advance my, my goals, which are selfless, So, I mean, it's like the idea of using both sides, because then you can be the complete and total badass who gets to use Force lightning and all that cool stuff, but...
Yeah, Star Killer type thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I hope that they're going for with this whole, if they do the Grey Jedi, is that. Because, yeah, if you try to have this third branch of it, then you're saying that the Grey Jedi is going to be your perfect balance of the Force, to where the light side and the dark side, ultimately, if you can have everybody become Grey Jedi, then you got your perfect balance.
And see, that's the other thing I don't know, is that's kind of the dichotomy between the Jedi and the Sith. Both of them want power. Mm-hmm. And it's constantly back and forth. And I don't know that you can get rid of that. And I don't know if that's what Disney's going for, to find, the Grey Jedi, the balance, and the Force is now balanced again. But I don't think that having light and dark in an equal level is what is balance. Because the Force energy is just the energy of the universe. So I don't know that the dark... I don't know. I can't put it into words.
I know. So my idea is I mean, ultimately, if you look at it in the terms of, if you take instead of the light side and the dark side of the Force, if you just say good and evil. So to have evil, you have to somewhat have good. I mean, you have to have an idea of what good is. And same thing with good. To have good, you have to have an idea of what evil is. But it doesn't mean you have to have it.
But see, I don't think it's actually good and evil.
No, I'm not saying that the Force is necessarily like light and dark are good and evil. I'm just saying as like a
because I don't think that the Jedi are necessarily good.
No, I'm just using it as like the idea of if you take good and evil, I'm trying to think of
because
I'm not using it
and
as
I guess maybe
a metaphor.
That's more what I'm trying to get at is that the Jedi aren't a good and the Sith aren't necessarily bad, and I think that's where we get the light and the dark side. Is we're thinking light side's the good people, dark side's the bad people. I don't think that the dark side even really. It's just a manifestation of bad energy. When you do a great injustice, it hurts the Force, and that's where they draw their power from. It taints it, right?
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily that it even needs to be in the universe. And a Jedi isn't a good entity. They're zen with the Force. They understand it. They feel it move through them, and they can act however they see fit.
They're more of an arm of the Force instead of an
and not
appendage
even
of the Force.
Not even. Thing. They just can harness it. Because when you look at the dark side points in the books, right? You got the planets that are like Malachor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's only a powerful dark place because a massive cataclysm happened there, right? So that's what turned it into a hot spot for the dark side energy. None of that would exist without it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, if you look at any of the planets or anything that is is strong with the dark side, it's never because it's just naturally there. It's because something came and changed it and twisted it to become strong with the dark side. Whereas like the Force in general is just
life force.
Yeah. Unless you get into midi-chlorians.
Yeah, like I say, I think they're just a symbiotic parasite that feeds off of the Force, kind of like the Darth Bane's armor.
Yeah,
I think it's just a way to. Okay, we see a lot of these; they must be powerful in the Force type thing.
And you don't necessarily need to have them to be powerful in the Force. It's just like, oh, hey, that guy's got like a ridiculous amount. That's more than I've ever seen before.
He lives on Tatooine. Of course, he's got some parasites.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
So that's what I'm saying.
That'd be nice.
Anyway, where were we?
I don't know.
Yeah. So how is the Jedi school destroyed? Is it Kylo that does it?
I've thought about this a little bit. I feel like this could be a good way of Snoke destroying the school, like kind of maybe like a idea of him maybe it all depends. I mean, like I say, I hate to get too crazy with my theories because then I know like in a week I'm gonna sound like an absolute retard. But I could see Snoke somehow kind of meeting Kylo or something beforehand, or having the sense of where Kylo's going. And so he kind of pushes the last little bit. And when it's all falls, Snoke is there to like, hey, look at this. Why don't we start up this group of the Knights of Ren and you can be the leader and take all the... And you don't even know if all the Knights of Ren are Jedi or, Force users, or are they just random people?
I don't think they're Force users because they probably would have had lightsaber training. And I don't see any of them running lightsabers. So,
but they could be Padawans before they got their lightsabers, possibly.
I want it to be this way. I don't know that it is, but so Ben is Han and Leia's kid. Rey is Luke's kid.
It is Ben.
That's what I'm going for.
Okay.
I want it to be this way, right?
Okay.
And so you saw, I think it was in the third trailer, Luke says something of the nature of, I've only seen this kind of raw power before once or whatever.
Yep.
I think that he was training Rey when she was really young there, and she started going nuclear, I guess, right? Well, obviously Kylo's a little older than her, right? Mm-hmm. Probably farther along in the Force. And Kylo obviously is getting the father figure because I think at this point it is canon. Han was actually with Chewie liberating the Wookiees.
Okay.
Because he was General Han at that point.
Yeah, that's right.
So he wouldn't have been home. So anyway, she starts to go nuclear, and Luke doesn't know what to do. So he shoos Kylo away, basically makes him leave, and she goes nuclear and destroys the place. And I saw this thing where he sits there and touches R2.
Mm-hmm.
He was stopping him from ejecting his lightsaber to go kill her because she was out of control. So when she came down from the high or whatever, Luke goes in there and has to do the mind wipe like they did on Revan. And that's probably something he didn't want to do to his daughter. Sent her to a planet that's completely desolate and away from everything in case it happens again. And who cares about Jakku? Nobody cares about Jakku. And he goes into hiding because, well, number one, he had to mind wipe his daughter, and number two, he doesn't know what to do about it.
Well, and plus, it makes sense send her to Jakku because nobody likes sand.
Yeah, obviously.
So you gotta have sand.
And, well, what the hell's, Kylo's supposed to do now? So he starts looking for something and finds someone who's willing to teach him a bunch of power.
Yeah, that's possible. I never thought about that, but yeah, that's...
I don't know. That's what I want to happen.
That'd be cool.
It's either that or it's backwards. Like you were saying. Kylo's actually Luke's kid.
Yeah, and Luke gave him up to Leia and Han to raise as their son, so...
And or while he's looking, okay, so Luke has turned him down. His dad's turned him down. He goes to find something of his grandfather's, finds his helmet, and then you get the thing we were talking about where the dark side energy of Vader has manifested in his helmet.
Yeah.
And he's seeing, the Force ghost, quote unquote, of Vader, and he's telling him what to do.
Either that
or Snoke.
Or it is an actual Force ghost of Vader.
Yeah, they could have split. It's possible.
There's two. What we're talking about is like there'd be like a light side Force ghost and a dark side Force ghost.
That's not canon at all, but...
No, well, it's not, but it could be.
Not yet.
That's the thing, is a lot of this stuff... Because, I mean, you look at a lot of the way these movies can go is they can bring a lot of the legends into canon and use the legend material. Even if they don't want to bring it into canon, they can use the material to come up with new stories or new ways to include that as canon type thing. So, they can use something used in the Darth Bane books, for example, and make a new story and make that canon.
Spilled coffee on the mixing board.
You're going to fry that.
Screw shit up. Yeah.
So.
I'm excited. Looks like the X-Wing space battles are going to be good, so that's awesome.
Yeah, I hope so. We need some good space battles.
I'm hoping we're going to get the First Order Interceptor. Not just Kylo's ship, but I want the actual First Order Interceptor.
That would be awesome. I'd like to see a new Interceptor.
That's my Empire ship.
Yep, I'd like to see a new Interceptor. I need to see some crazy-ass bounty hunters. I'm not saying I need a Boba Fett. I mean, I like Boba Fett. He's cool. But I want to see some, like, Mandalorians or some sort of... kind of, that third faction of, like, bounty hunters or some other group trying to get in on this, to where... You could throw some new ships in there, a little bit of a third party trying to muscle in on stuff.
Now that Leia is on the outs because she's Vader's kid, I think that would be an awesome way to... She's a badass. She's going to walk into to Mandalore, because I think Mandalore's still around.
Yeah, I guess I haven't heard anything. And this is where I need to... I've stuck to Old Republic books. and stuff lately, and I really need to read some new canon stuff because I need to see where they're at on a lot of these stories.
I would assume Mandalore or the Mandalorian leader is still around. I don't know if the mask is still there, but they got to have a leader of some sort.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Sabine Wren got him back to, a somewhat decent civilization.
Yeah. And I don't know if they still use the mask technically. I never even saw it in the Clone Wars with the Mandalore's mask.
No, and maybe they don't, but they got the dark saber.
But they've got the dark saber, and they kind of have the idea of a leader of Mandalore. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it isn't that that's gone, but yeah, no, that'd be good. I like the idea of that, and I'd like to see more
because the Resistance, because we don't have the Republic got destroyed. The Senate did, so they had no leadership. So I can't imagine that they would be a big power in this, but
unless they reestablish the Republic on Coruscant.
But they're still going to be in disarray because I don't think it's been that many years.
Oh no, it's happened. No, I'm just saying. I can't
imagine it. This probably takes a year after the last one, I would think, judging by what it looked like.
If that, we'll see. It all depends on how quickly they interrupt her training, and she has to fly off to save Han and Leia. I mean, whoever her friends are. She's gonna have to leave her training halfway through to go save Chewie and Finn, maybe Poe. That's what Luke had to do in Empire. She'll have to do that.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'd love though to see a movie that they actually have some badass Mandalorians. Because as much as I like Boba Fett, in the movies he was just on screen for like 15 minutes and terrible.
Yeah, I'm all for the Resistance being shit out of luck, and Leia going and hiring some criminal factions to work with the Resistance. Be awesome. I think that would be really cool.
See some Black Sun in there, or something like that, and a bunch of pirates and shit. That'd be cool.
I would love to see, and this probably doesn't mean much to you, but I got a feeling Snoke's probably got a really badass, Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
And in Episode 9, the Mass Effect style, 1 billion different ships, nothing, military wise, just descend on the First Order fleet and mass chaos. Oh, it'd be amazing.
That would be cool.
I want a good space battle.
Yep, that'd be cool. We need some good space battles. I agree. And we need to see some more cool worlds. I like the idea of maybe revisiting a couple old ones, but I mean, I don't want to be stuck on 2 worlds the entire movie type thing.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. For sure. The problem is you get too many worlds, then I don't know. Right now we don't have a home world, really.
No.
Because we're just the Resistance.
Yeah.
Oh, is Leia gonna die? She better die.
I feel like she will, but at the same time, a part of me, I'm not saying this is right, I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but I feel like there's a part of me thinking they're going to do a whole Paul Walker exit on Fast and Furious with her, where she flies off in her Corvette, because that's the first ship we ever see her on, and her and let's see, Han's dead. Her and Luke split ways at a fork in the road with a sad song playing. I don't know. I hope they. And this I
hope she goes out in a blaze of glory.
Yep, and that's what I was gonna say. I hope she dies like a badass, because that'd be awesome. It'd be a good way to actually have her character die. Would be because I mean
she's obviously on a capital ship. From the looks of it in
that part, but I mean, we could see her die some other way. I mean, there's a lot of different ways they could end up playing this out. But I hope she dies in a battle.
So there's a space battle going on.
Yeah, we know that there's a space battle going on there.
I think that they abduct Rey. They get her somewhere or another. Yeah. And Snoke's torturing her, and they know they gotta go get her back. So Leia descends with the power of whatever fleet she's got, and that's where Poe's fighting.
That'd be cool.
So they're just trying to get someone in there. And I think they sneak Finn in, and Phasma's there going, cracking her knuckles. All right, bitch. We did this once. We're going to finish it now.
And I'm going to actually do something instead of let you...
They're going to hash it out, and some way or another, they're going to go to try and save Rey. And I don't think they're going to... I think Kylo's going to try to help them. They can't save her, and they ditch before they could. And while they're getting away on the Falcon, Leia steers the ship, into hell or high water, hoping she can just let them get out of there, because she knows she can't do anything.
Pretty cool.
And or Ben came back, and she's like, fuck it. He's making it out of here alive, ramming the Star Destroyer into the capital ship, whatever we got to do.
Be cool.
I'm down on Blaze of Glory, Leia. Do it. I know the movie's already shot, but you better be doing it.
That'd be good. I'd be good with that. No, I honestly, no matter what happens in the movie, there will be things that people are going to dislike about it, and there's going to be things that people are going to love about it. Ultimately, at the end of the day, when it's a good Star Wars movie, I mean, if there wasn't terrible moments in Star Wars, it wouldn't be the great story it is.
I think they're going to kill people. I'm excited that they're going to kill off characters, because they had the balls. They had the balls to do it in Rogue One, and bar none, Rogue One is second best movie. Bar none, second best movie. Visually stunning, and they killed people, which is awesome, because they all live. It's no good.
Well, and it's part of the problem that you have with, like, in the Avengers movies, and hopefully they'll change it here in Infinity War, but every time they, like, you think somebody dies, they come back. They're somehow alive there.
All right, end of Star Wars. I am Marvel movied out. I watched Spider-Man, and I'm so goddamn pissed off. I'm just done with Marvel movies. I can't do it anymore. Give me a goddamn villain.
Yeah.
They don't get any screen time, and they don't have any character development.
I loved how they did Vulture to a certain... Like, I loved the character. I wish they would have been on him 100 times more. Like had a way more backstory.
Twice the screen time.
Oh, yeah. That's what I mean. I love the character, and I love how Michael Keaton played him. I want to watch a movie about him.
They give you the struggle. I mean, they set you up with he doesn't like Tony Stark.
Yeah.
And why? But you don't see him struggle.
Yeah.
He immediately goes and finds this other stuff, and he's a billionaire.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm doing really well for my family. Yeah, this is tough. Yeah. I needed 10 years of him scraping by, doing something in between, and finding this stuff somewhere else and being like, I'm doing this. Or even dealing with the suit that doesn't work for a long time. Yep. Something, but he was just instant badass.
Yeah, he went from this guy who was supposedly down on his luck because he lost the contract in the first 5 minutes of the movie to this amazing billionaire who's got this awesome setup with this ridiculously cool suit. And like I say, I loved how Michael Keaton played him, and I loved the idea of the character. I could have done a movie with just him.
Yeah, and I don't need a full backstory, but I swear he's maybe on screen for, 15 minutes of that movie?
Probably.
15 minutes? And it's every movie. I mean, I'm kind of putting it together. Thor movies. First movie was throw away something or other. I don't even remember what that piece of armor was, right?
It was the destroyer thing, yeah.
Who gives a crap about that? He killed him in 2 seconds. Nobody cares.
Oh, yeah. No, that's it.
The second movie was...
the ether thing.
Yeah, the ether thing. But, I mean, he was just an elf that looked mean and killed him.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of get why... And I know why he doesn't like him, but anyway. I mean, it was throwaway character. First Iron Man... I thought the villain development was pretty decent in the first Iron Man. It was a really good movie. Second one, I can't remember who the villain is.
Second one was...
Oh, yeah, he was the dude with the whips.
Yeah. And he was...
Throwaway character.
Yep.
And the third one, I thought they were doing a good thing with the third one, where they gave Iron Man some actual consequences to his actions.
Yeah.
And then Avengers, oh, my suits are back.
Yep, it was like, hey, well, let's get rid of all my suits, and then all of a sudden it's like, what the hell? You haven't. Yeah.
So the only consequences that we had, fuck it. Oh shit! This is the Red Skull. Is that his name?
Yeah, on Captain America.
He was
your typical
just a bad Nazi.
Yeah,
who cares?
He's a bad guy from World War II. He's a Nazi.
And the Winter Soldier, I just didn't have any connection to him. He didn't say anything. He didn't have any emotion. I mean, I get why, but God, you could have made him. I don't know. I didn't connect to him at all. So I haven't seen the third one, but the villains in the third one are other superheroes that you have backstories on.
Yeah.
So obviously, and Ant-Man I didn't watch, but I understand the villain in that's throwaway.
The villain in there is throwaway for sure. Because he's the bad business guy who happened to get screwed on a deal and he steals the tech. I mean,
and DC right now it's the same damn way. I kind of was Superman. What the hell was the bad guy in the first one?
Zod.
I kind of got where he was coming from.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I hated that Superman just threw away his morals and killed him at the end, but
they wanted a dark Superman.
Yeah, and Batman is too dark in this one. He has no respect for life.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing with Batman is.
I kind of like, but here's the thing: is I would have liked to have seen a lone movie before that on the changeover from going from because I mean you have to have Batman with morals, and then have him morph into that or something.
But see, that comes from the comic, and I forget what it is, but when he's that way, he's old in those movies. Mm-hmm. He's been through 60 years of BS, mm-hmm. and that's why he's that way. And at the end of the comic, he goes, "What the hell am I doing?" Right?
Yep.
But this Batman, and remember, did you ever watch the Justice League cartoons?
Yeah, I remember watching.
They were great. Yeah, Batman was the best in that movie, or in that show. He was a badass. But when someone was really struggling, he was the dude that was like, "All right, I get where you're coming from. I've been through this crap, right?" Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't get that with Ben Affleck, but I do get that with Christopher Nolan's Batman.
Yeah, with Christian Bale. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing. So this is why I honestly think that the Dark Knight trilogy that Christopher Nolan put together with Christian Bale as Batman is one of the best superhero trilogies. Is so the third one not as much because you have Bane as kind of a throwaway villain.
I don't think so. I gotta disagree.
I shouldn't say he's a throwaway villain, but you compare him to the Joker, the way the Joker was put together.
I gotta disagree, and I'll let you finish. But here, I gotta get into this.
I just love and the screen time that the villains had was equal to what Batman had. I feel like, or really, really, really close.
Yes, and that's what I'm getting at, and it does. Every moment that they're on the screen, you're understanding why they're doing something.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
The first Batman Begins, right? His master becomes the villain, right?
Yeah. And in that one, I get they didn't have nearly as much on the villain itself, but it was more the building of who Batman is.
I think they did a really good job with him because
they did. But I mean, though, as far as comparing screen time to Batman's time, because in the middle he was supposedly dead. So, I mean, there's that big chunk there. And
then you come into the second one, and the Joker's wonderful. I wish they would have done more with Two-Face. He was kind of the throwaway character in that. But I don't really think that Christian Bale did any better job as Batman than anyone else. But the dichotomy between the villains and the good guy was on par with each other, that brings it up. Bane, I think, was just as good as Joker.
Yeah, and see, I love Bane. I mean, don't get me wrong, Bane is awesome, but there was just, and maybe it's just more personal preference than anything. The Joker's performance was amazing.
It was, but
yeah,
I had the tension the whole way through between Bane and Batman, and that's all I needed. I needed a good.
Yeah.
I do think probably the second movie was better than the third one, but
they were both good. I mean,
But that being said, I was originally like, why the hell is Fox not going to let Marvel have X-Men? Mm-hmm. And now I am so glad they didn't do it.
But that might have just changed.
Kind of.
Because did you hear about the whole merger, Disney buying out Fox?
Yeah. I know, but they're keeping it in the studio from what I understand.
So far.
Because Deadpool was fucking amazing.
It is.
And because Deadpool was fucking amazing, and I'm sure the next one's going to be amazing, Logan was amazing.
Oh, yeah, Logan was great.
Yes. Finally.
It's one of those things. I hate to say it. I wish they would have. It's an amazing movie for Hugh Jackman to go out on as Wolverine. But damn, if they could have done that from the beginning and then kept that. I mean, I like how they ended it. It's a good ending. So, I mean, obviously, you couldn't have kept that same idea.
I like the arc of the Days of Future Past.
Yep.
The 3 original X-Men, I don't know, I thought they were pretty good for the time. I would have put them on par with the first 2 Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
Other than he makes his own web. Judo chop. And then the 3rd movie happened. That doesn't exist. I don't even talk about that. But
you don't like the jazz
scene? No. We don't talk about that movie. It didn't happen.
Tobey Maguire dance,
and then the real future X-Men. I forget what one that was.
Apocalypse.
But yeah, I don't really care about that. But both of the Days of Future Past, I thought were really good.
Yeah.
And then Logan was just out of the park, amazing. Finally,
Logan was great.
Kill a main character. Thank you. And not Jean Grey it and make her just be stupid and explode.
Yeah. Nope. It was a good movie.
Deadpool better be good, because if it isn't, I'm coming to kill you all. Don't ruin Deadpool for me.
I don't think they will.
They tried. Remember Deadpool from the original Wolverine movie?
You're talking about Wolverine Origins where they sewed his mouth shut. Yeah, no, they ruined Deadpool in that. But that's what's amazing about these, and I don't think they'll make that mistake again.
Oh, God, I hope not.
Especially because Ryan Reynolds is such a integral part of this.
I understand he co-wrote a lot of the stuff for Deadpool.
Yeah, he's produced it. He's pretty much the reason the movies are happening. Even the first one even happened. Same thing on the second one. So,
Marvel, pull your head out of your ass and make a good villain.
And I haven't seen Justice League yet.
It was terrible.
I won't see it until it comes out on DVD. When it comes out on DVD, I will buy it and then I'll watch it. I heard mixed reviews on it. I heard some people say it was the best one yet of that series. I heard other people saying that it went so you have all these dark DC movies and then this one jumped to the light ridiculously.
Well, yeah, they were trying to do the Marvel thing.
Yeah, and I just they need to be their own deal.
And Marvel's gonna run out of one-liners here real soon, and it's just not gonna be fun anymore. But
they have to keep the one-liners up though. How the hell are they gonna keep everybody having? Everybody's got to have a line in a movie, and the amount of characters they're gonna have in the Infinity Wars. Literally, to have a 3-hour movie, everybody's gonna say 3 words, and that's gonna be the entire movie for 3 hours.
And the new Flash character. Oh, I want to punch him in the face. Oh my God, I want to punch him in the face.
We'll see.
I don't even like him outside of the movie. I just want to punch him in the face outside of the movie.
We'll see, because to me, and this is the thing. To me, I had that problem with Adam Driver as Kylo. Yeah. As soon as I seen it, I mean, it was one of those things. I tried not to watch a whole lot of stuff on The Force Awakens before it came out.
I have that problem. But
I didn't watch, and I didn't know that it was Adam Driver as Kylo Ren until I was in the movie. And when he took off his mask, I got so pissed off.
Damn it.
and I was just, it was like, you just ruined it. And because, I mean, with his voice modulator, it didn't sound like him. To me, going in there without the idea.
I can hear it now.
Yeah, I was going to say, now that I know that it's him, and every time I see a picture of him without his mask doing something that is somewhat not he's not in his Kylo costume, but it's a Star Wars promo, I still have a hard time seeing him and going, I like you as Kylo Ren, because I really don't.
I'm okay with kind of the way it looks now. It almost looks like his scar has carbon fiber in it. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I did notice that. Although I feel like that he should have gotten some eye damage. That would have been cooler. Like, I feel like it went here and then it just skipped over and touched here. And I feel like they should have gouged out his eye or made it like white or something, or cool eye patch. Mm-hmm. Could have like a cyborg eye patch or something.
Maybe he does. Maybe this is a bionic eye now. You just don't know.
It would be way cooler if it wasn't. It needs to be an eye patch with sensors and stuff. Maybe some LED lights blinking across it.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, so no, we'll see what happens here. I'm still, and I have a hard time with Adam Driver as Kylo. I have a hard time with Kylo Ren. He reminds me of Luke, just ridiculously whiny. He needs to wear his helmet all the time because his voice does still drive me nuts to some extent. But
it's what do you think Benicio del Toro is going to be?
I don't know. Possibly just I mean, he's obviously an Imperial. Well, not an Imperial, First Order.
Or is he your bounty hunter you've been waiting for?
No, I think so judging from that picture, I don't know if you want to bring that up on the podcastness so people can see it, but judging from that picture, to me, that is definitely it looks like an Imperial.
See, he's kind of in a cloak here.
Yeah, if you go up though to the picture you were looking at, not that one.
Yeah, that's sexy. Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. You're getting into like burlesque type.
See,
pictures.
Here he's beardo.
Yeah, he is beardo,
and that's promotional.
So to me, this is just me, but that collar and everything like that looks like the First Order style.
Yeah, no, that's
officers' uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm almost wondering if he isn't a First Order officer or maybe like a spy. Yeah, see, that's what I mean.
Oh, that's funny.
How do you not?
Oh, I like that so much. Oh, it kills me.
I mean, you should not stand with your legs that far apart. I just feel like picture's wrong.
Ginger General's back here looking all angry.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. And I had had to laugh because I love stormtroopers, I love clone troopers, I love I love the helmets and all that stuff, and it's cool. Playing on Battlefront 2, they just asked if you want to be the Resistance or the First Order. And I was going to click on the First Order, but then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, I really cannot stand Kylo, and I cannot stand Ginger General. I don't know what the heck his actual name is. I can't think of it. But
that's what I call him, and it works really well.
It does. It works well. And I cannot stand either one of them, so... The only thing is, I'm going to have a hard time not picturing him as a collector in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I hope he does not talk the same way. If he does, I'd be so pissed.
That would have been cool. He could have been Thrawn.
No, he's not Thrawn.
Thrawn could have worked out really well.
Thrawn could, but he's going off of... I don't think Thrawn's going to be in him. Because with him being in Rebels... He's old enough already.
Yeah.
In Rebels to where...
Yeah, but he's an alien. Who knows?
That's true.
He could have...
That's true.
500-year lifespan.
Yeah, I don't remember in the books what they ever said, like, for how old he could be or how old he was. I could go for a good Thrawn character.
Yeah, Thrawn.
Cool. A good character. That's the thing that I feel like, and I guess, I don't know, we'll see with Finn. It looks like Finn is not going to be Force sensitive, but they need to make sure that they have that good non-Force sensitive character like Han Solo was, that kind of thing where it's like a badass who is not Force sensitive.
I kind of hope that's Poe, not Finn. I want the badass pilot that's just, the best in the galaxy to not have anything going for him.
He's just an awesome pilot.
He's just a good pilot. He doesn't have to be Force sensitive to be the best pilot.
Yeah, no, I'd be good with that. Yeah, I'd definitely be good with that. Plus, I love his X-Wing. That black and orange looks awesome.
Yeah, I'm a little confused. They put a booster or something on it where the power cell normally is. So,
I didn't notice
Disney, you kind of messed with things. I don't know how I feel about this.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, right in the dead center of the back where the power cell loads. You see him tell BB-8 to give him a boost or something, and he takes off and shoots real fast. So that upset me.
Oh, see, I haven't been watching the trailers apparently that close.
Well, it's in the brand new one. I think it only came out a couple days ago.
Okay, I haven't seen that trailer.
Oh, you haven't seen that one?
No.
Oh.
The only part of it I've seen, I did see one part where he gets, where a TIE fighter gets split, and the cockpit that's a little ball just starts rolling down the ship, and I thought that was badass. I seen that clip. I think that was on Instagram, tell you the truth.
All right, I'm going to see if I can find it. I'll mute our mics and let it run. We'll get flagged for sure.
We don't have to get flagged.
Well, I'll go find that spot. Oh, yeah, it's probably right here. So, yeah, just a week ago. I'm going to kill our mics for a second.
Okay. While we watch ads.
Where what begins? Your future. Make the choice.
Happy Beats here, buddy. Come on.
So good to have you back.
BB-8, punch it!
There might have been something attached right there that made that work. Yeah, see, there is something.
Okay, so they've got something attached. So you can calm down.
Maybe they didn't screw things up.
Maybe they put an attachment. Yep, that's definitely an attachment.
Like a rocket booster or something there. Okay.
So they've gone from having the big halo ring things that they pull up into with the hyperdrives, on the Jedi Starfighters. Maybe that's like
they don't need them. X-Wings have
I know. I'm just saying though, instead of having that setup, they've got the cool. You can clamp on an extra booster.
Which I'm not really sure why this thing outputs more power than 4 ion engines. That makes zero sense to me. But
because they
Star
wanted
Wars
to.
logic. I mean,
that's your NOS button. It's called your Dominic Toretto NOS button.
Not really sure what even.
It's NOS.
Is its power source.
And you don't call it nitrous oxide. You call it NOS, and that's your NOS button. You hit that button and.
Anyway.
You magically go 5,000 miles an hour, and you have to shift 14,000 gears.
Oh, God damn it. Now you're hurting my feelings because he does the backwards fly thing on here.
Does he?
Yes. God damn it. Now you're ruining my whole coolest Starfighter thing ever.
Well, it's a Starfighter versus a car. And is he racing backwards and somehow passes somebody in reverse?
He does a super hard turn type thing and kind of. I've never seen anyone do a maneuver like this. And maybe it can happen with the T-70s. Yep, there it was.
Oh, see, no, that wasn't a Dominic Toretto deal.
Flies backwards,
that wasn't
stops on a dime and flies the other way.
Well, if you think about it, if you kicked around and then you had your jet propulsion, you could do it. That isn't
it's in space. He's not even in atmosphere.
No, this isn't the same as driving a 50 Fleetline Chevy in reverse at 75 mile an hour.
I know,
passing a guy using nitrous that isn't actually
nitrous. The maneuver
nitrous.
He pulled was an in-atmosphere maneuver. He had to have had something to slow him down. The space stuff is way more linear in.
Well, maybe so that explosion that you see before, maybe he clipped something. Maybe he clips something as he comes out. It kicks him sideways. Maybe
they're on the edge of atmosper. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Maybe. Okay, here's an idea. So because we're now further ahead in the Star Wars, maybe in the storyline, maybe the new ships actually create atmosphere.
Ooh, yeah.
I
was hoping to see like a T-75 or something in this movie, but they're not giving me nothing. It's still the black one. So.
Not yet. They don't want to do that yet.
I was hoping they'd give him like a new paint scheme. Keep it black, but instead of orange, something else. Signifying a higher rank or something.
Nah, I'm guessing that he's going to stick with that same X-Wing, the whole saga because I mean, think about it. It's like the Falcon. You know, I mean, it's becoming. They want to tie a ship to Poe. They want a badass ship. If you make that Poe's ship throughout the whole trilogy, it gets its own little fandom going. Kind of like the Falcon, kind of like Darth Vader's interceptor that he's got. You know, I mean.
Oh, don't. Yeah, okay.
Or TIE Advanced, I should say.
Don't do the opposing. I want something like that. Yeah, I just want a straight up interceptor that's got.
They're going to give you the opposing.
It's got the big, energy things that.
Yeah, they're going to do. Maybe they'll be flipping, like they can transform, kicking out or in.
I'd be okay with that.
And like they're out for in atmosphere stuff, and then like in space,
striker type thing.
Yeah, and then in space they fold back in.
I'd be fine with the TIE striker type thing. Yeah,
be good with that.
Disney, you better make my dream. Either that or Defenders coming back would be pretty cool.
That would be. I like Defenders.
They haven't been in Rebels as much as I'd like them to have been.
No, but they just came out in Rebels too, so. Very end, they just came out. So maybe we'll see more in Rebels 4th season.
I can't imagine that they wouldn't build them as. Ooh, those are cool.
Those are.
I need to learn how to detail my models better. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I do too. I agree. I also need to take better pictures of my models. So if you guys want to see my first attempts at trying to take pictures of little ships like these, you can go to my Instagram and find them. I've started attempting it. Some guy on Instagram inspired me to try taking toy photography, so I stole my wife's camera.
Might as well. I've only got like an army's worth of them, so
I've only done 2 pictures that I've edited, put together on Instagram, and they're both of the Falcon because it was a cold day out.
Do you have photo editing software?
I've got some. I don't have any really good stuff.
I don't have any that can do green screen.
No, see, I didn't have any green screen. I did mine all, to tell you the truth, I went to my son's sandbox.
That's funny.
I had to dig the cat poop out in a few places first before I really did anything, but yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you gotta love it. Gotta love
Millennium Falcon taking off of this giant piece of dog shit.
Yep. No, not dog shit. It's cat. My dog poops in tall grass.
Yeah, that's true.
He's got a thing for grass. It's funny if you get into a parking lot or something that way, and he will go find a piece of grass. Like he has to have grass. It's funny. It's entertaining. So, yeah. Just so everybody knows too, we're starting. We've got an Instagram here. I'm trying to find the page again to remember exactly what it's.
It's just Beef and Chetter.
Is it just Beef? Beef and Chetter.
Beef and
like
Chetter.
N, letter N, like Instagram, as in Nathan.
I started a Facebook.
Yeah, I'm not big on Facebook.
Yeah.
I'll take care of our Instagram maybe.
And Twitter. And
okay.
I have not figured out how to use Twitter.
I haven't done Twitter ever. I did Twitter once, but
other than I followed a bunch of stuff on both of them for anyway.
Yeah. And so Beef and Chetter on Instagram, I know that one. Is Beef and Chetter on Facebook?
Yep.
And Beef and Chetter on Twitter?
On Twitter, yeah.
And
oddly, nobody has used her name for anything else.
Well, I have to say it's kind of unique, at least, is Beef and Chetter, like T's instead of D's.
And I spell my name weird, so
yeah. No, that works. Find me on Instagram if you want to go follow that, and then I can convince you to go to the other Instagram. Mine's Chet Moto X.
I'm apparently on Instagram, but I don't care.
I think it's Beefcake MT or something that way. Which I figured out. I think how you ended up doing that. I accidentally created a second Instagram of mine. Somehow, I don't know how I did, but I created a second Instagram that I didn't mean to do.
I wonder, because I tried to disable my Facebook because I just want it to disappear. But
yeah,
so I think I keep reactivating it every time I log into the squad builder for X-Wing miniatures because it uses me.
Oh, yep.
So I think it reactivates my Facebook. So I got to figure something out because I don't want my Facebook anymore.
Yep, so...
I quite literally haven't posted on it in probably 3 years.
Yeah. So make sure though to go follow us on those social media things, not anything else.
I will probably post links to our videos from this point forward.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be doing this as a actual podcast, probably on Apple at some point. But
yeah, we're currently recording this one on my laptop because we'll see how this works.
My computer's pegged running like 40 different things right now, so I couldn't do anything else.
And we'll see if my old Dell holds up here.
So yeah, once we get that figured out, maybe I'll post on Twitter or something.
Yeah, and so then if you're like me and you drive a lot and you don't want to have a video playing in your vehicle as you're driving, you can actually listen to it just as an app.
Yeah, because we're really that interesting.
We're very, very interesting.
Yeah, so I did my first music one the other day. I kind of like the format I got it going in, but I need more people, so hopefully I can maybe talk you into it and possibly a female, because nobody likes to look at the both of us.
Well, you don't know about that. Because people like to look at me, but it's just a whole other deal.
I don't know.
I'm married, though, so
it's
sorry.
True.
I'm not flipping you off. This is my ring finger.
Oh, okay. So, anyway.
So, yeah.
I guess we'll call that a podcast.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be back. It sounds like about a week from now. I'm going to try to do a podcast right after seeing The Last Jedi, I think is the plan. So
is that what we're going to do? So, yeah, I guess maybe we should... Are we going to do that after, like, when we get back here, or are we going to try to do it in the car? Cause
we'll see. It might be difficult doing it in the car, plus I don't want to get, like, distracted driving and...
Yeah, so I got to thinking my lapel mics are omnidirectional, and we're going to get a bunch of car noise if we try
we'll
to
get
do
a bunch
that,
of car noise, plus then if we are in a fiery car crash, though, we would at least be able to record our last moments. So they could listen to it on the laptop and be like, hey, they were talking about Star Wars when they died. So, yeah, we'll probably be back here after Last Jedi on Friday night. Probably have this posted sometime over the weekend, so...
Hope so. All right.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to
Thanks for
subscribe.
watching, homies.